No, we love.
You love.
Okay, Most High Interest. Salaki, so does anybody have any questions before we get started? Shalom, Israel. We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. We've been on the street since 1969 trying to teach blacks, Hispanics, and Indians their true culture and what the Bible is actually truly talking about. Because your Christian church does not actually teach you the truth of the scriptures. And that's what we're going to get into today. Kyle, what are you going to say, Bruce?
Yes, sir. I found the scripture I was looking for the other day. Just now, and I had a question about it.
Kyle.
It's Deuteronomy 23:7.
Ah, wow, this fits right into the lesson.
Oh, good.
Most High Interest. Deuteronomy 23:7. Read it.
The book of Deuteronomy.
Well, actually, try to have.
Book of Deuteronomy, verse 7.
Slide, say the whole thing. Chapter and verse. Yeah, Con, you do.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23, verse 7.
Okay.
Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite,
Right.
for he is thy brother.
Well, he is thy brother. Okay, is your question in there, or you need the rest? What's your question?
Well, I'll complete. Okay, thou was a stranger in his land. Christians or people out on the street would teach, and they might throw this at you.
Right.
That's for me. I'm just trying to get a full understanding of it.
Okay. Anyone want to try to help the brother? Give the brother an answer on why we don't abhor Edomites and what that really means? Makwash.
If I may, sir, the scripture is saying that you shouldn't hate an Edomite for no reason. Don't abhor an Edomite. Don't hate him for no reason.
Well, what does abhor mean? Khan, he did the right thing. What's called? He went to the dictionary. He's looking the word up. What does abhor mean? A-B-H-O-R. Because abhor isn't to hate.
Abhor.
Khan.
Regard with disgust and hatred.
Keep going.
That's it for this one.
Keep going. Go on Merriam Webster's. Abhor. You got it, Bakwash?
To regard with extreme repugnance.
Repugnance.
Right. To feel hatred or loathing for.
Right. Keep going.
That's all I have for it, sir.
Con. Yeah, either of y'all got a Strong's in your phone?
Con, sir.
Use the Strong's to look up the word abhor in the Bible dictionary. Yeah, see what the Bible, your actual one says. So,
abhor, detest.
Abhor, detest, keep going. What else?
Commit more, do abominably.
Wait, what was that first one?
Commit more.
Commit more, right?
Do abominably.
Do, what's that first word?
Do.
And what's the first word in the other one?
Detest.
No, the first word in the okay, you said, before you said do abominably, what did you say?
More.
And then before that?
Commit.
Now, commit and do, those are verbs, right? Meaning what? They're actions.
Yeah, right.
That's what abhor means. You cannot, Salaki, eyes rock, what you got?
Sorry, I don't got it yet, so still looking up.
Okay. Abhor in this sense is an action. I cannot go up and beat up a white man because he is a white man. That is not what we teach inside the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. I am not allowed to sleep with a white man's wife, even if his wife is his sister. Right? I am not allowed to blow his head off. That white man can be my property in the kingdom of heaven. You'll still not be allowed to just shoot him. That's murder. That is an unjustified killing. Right?
You said even in the kingdom?
Even in the kingdom, yes. You cannot kill your slaves. You think we're getting the kingdom? Why? Because we can be just as violent as white people? That's who God wants to give the kingdom to. A race that's just as violent and just as beast-like as the white man. You're evil and you're raping, going into shacks and raping women and making their husbands watch. So I'm going to take these people out of slavery and let them rape women. That makes complete sense. Okay? This is what's called. Some of y'all don't need to be on these streets teaching because y'all don't have the mind state to do it. Y'all don't realize the truth. You don't have it at all, or it must not be in there now.
No, I don't think it's in there.
It's too wild. At war is what you do. I cannot commit crimes against a white man. Do not go out doing that. That's what this law is saying. That says nothing about they have done evil to me and my people, so I don't deal with them. I deal with my own. That's not unlawful. Right? Now, get back to what we had, Matthew 5 and 44.
The book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 44. Or Akim have it?
John. Wait for him, the brother real quick.
Got it.
John.
But I say unto you, love your enemy.
What?
Love your enemy.
Now this is the main thing that we have to understand. The Christian church teaches you that you have to what?
Love your enemies.
You have to love your enemies. You have to sit here and open up your arms to people that have only hated and destroyed you. Right? This is what the Christian church teaches you. Okay? Love people that do not love you. If America loved us, we wouldn't have to question if Derek Chauvin killed George Floyd. We wouldn't have to go through a trial. Okay? That's if America loved us. If America loved us, that's what it is today. Like, we spent a year calling minimum wage workers heroes, but we didn't even raise minimum wage. Right? But this country loves us. Right? Keep going.
Bless them that curse you.
Bless them that curse you. Okay? Now, first off, before we even get into all of that, who is your enemy? And I need a precept to go with that.
So, like, what's the question? Who's what?
Who is your enemy? Who is the enemy in this verse? McQuash?
The enemy is your brothers.
You got a precept for that?
I'm about to put it in.
Come on, let's sound curious. Come.
Can we use go up a few verses on Matthew 5 and 22?
Read it.
Matthew 5 and 22. But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment.
I mean, yes, but it doesn't show it, because you want a scripture that a Christian can't, because that's talking about brother. This one's talking about enemy. Those are two different groups. You got to show the brother being the enemy. Con, what do you got to say?
Chapter 10, verse 36.
Read it.
37 too.
What did
Lock this up. I can't find it.
Okay, Con. Read what you got, Bruce.
The book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 36. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household.
Con, I would rather have you have gone up to 34. Give me 33. The 10 and 30. And I'll tell you the exact cut for this.
Chapter 10, verse 33. whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father which is in heaven.
I will also deny him before my Father which is in heaven. What is that talking about? You deny me, I will deny you in front of my Father.
I think he's talking about judgment.
You need a little more. What does it mean to deny him? Azra.
To say that he wasn't the Messiah, he wasn't a king.
Okay, and if he's not a king, what does that mean?
Then he's not the son of the Most High.
Yes, but what does that mean if he's not a king?
They don't have to follow him.
Right. If you deny me, you say you don't have to follow me, then I will deny you in front of my Father. So what is that saying? He's talking about people who want to eat pork.
Right.
He's talking about people that want to be whores, Christianity, and love idol worship and Christmas and so on and so forth. If you deny me, I will deny you in front of my Father. Right? Now this is important to understand. Just keep reading. 34.
Matthew 10 and 34. Think not that I come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword.
I didn't come to send peace, but a sword. Don't think that I came to send peace on the earth. What is that talking about? What does he mean by think not that I bring not peace, but a sword? Come.
Yeah, he's not coming to love everybody. He's coming to set order.
But why a sword? Why use a sword? Come.
Because the sword is a weapon for killing.
Right. He's coming back to kill. That is mainly what he said. What else can a sword be used for? Remember, in Hebrew, multiple words have multiple meanings. Come.
You talking about the scriptures?
Yeah, no, the scripture. Yeah,
I'm talking about the scripture, the sword.
Well, yes, but not yes. Yes, you can use it in this sense. But what else? Think about what we're about to read about. What else? Because what else can a sword? What is sword in Hebrew?
Good question.
For Tom's sake, Karab. Karab is sword. Come. You know, but in Hebrew, words can have multiple meanings. Karab can also be like a knife, like something you cut with. Read the next verse.
Verse 35.
35. Right.
For I am come to set a man at variance against his father.
Right, and that's the sword. The sword isn't just for killing. So it's going to do some killing. You can find that in Isaiah the 63rd chapter and a few other places. But what's it called? That's mainly about him killing Edomites too.
I was going to ask you about that too.
Yeah, Khan.
66?
I want to say it's 63. When Isaiah saw YAHANNA in a technically white outfit, but it was red from all the blood.
I'm not talking about that scripture, but there's something in 66. I'll actually later.
Why do you look like you came out of wine press? Isaiah 63. Pull it. I'll get it for you. Now, basically, what's called that the sword he's using is cutting a line inside of our families. That sword he's using is dividing us all. Right? Dividing those who serve Christ from those who won't. And Christ is telling this to his disciples. Read on.
And the daughter against her mother.
And the daughter against her mother. Keep going.
And the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law.
And the daughter-in-law against the mother-in-law. Right? Keep going.
36. And a man's foe shall be they of his own household.
And a man's foe shall be they of his own household. Right? Meaning what? Salaki. Meaning what? Salaki. Okay, meaning what? Now go back to 5 and 44. Meaning when Christ is talking about love your enemies, the enemy he's talking about is amongst your own people.
Right. And
he's going to explain why it's important that you have a love for your own. And why it's important that it's seen that you have a love for your own. Keep going. Read 5 and 44.
Matthew 5 and 44. But I say unto you, love your enemies.
Love who?
Your enemies.
Love your enemies, but we understand your enemies is your people. Keep going.
Bless them that curse you.
Bless them that curse you. What does it mean to bless them that curse you? Come.
Don't wish them any wrong.
No, that's not blessing. I hope nothing bad happens to you. Did I just bless you?
Come.
Come.
So something good for them.
Come. That's exactly it. Bless those that curse you. Yeah, come. That's exactly it. Bless those that curse you, slap you. You give me the next part.
Do good to them that hate you.
Do good to them that hate you. Now, what is this talking about? Your mother might hate the truth, and because of it, she hates you. However, you're still the only one of her children that will gladly take her to a hospital. Will take her to a doctor's appointment. Everyone else, she has to bribe them. Like, I'll take you out to dinner, I'll do this, I'll watch your kids this weekend, so on and so forth. This could be costing you money. You're taking your mother to the doctor. You know why? Because you're in a crazy cult that says that that's your obligation. You're obligated to take care of your parents in their old age. I hope everybody's aware of that.
Come.
That's what honor thy mother and father means. Okay? Keep reading.
I pray for them which despitefully use you.
What does that mean? Pray for them that despitefully use you. They see the goodness, they know what you're about, and regardless of all that, they're still going to be evil towards you and take that kindness for weakness. You have to understand, you have a level of protection. That protection is like a rabid dog. You don't want to see anyone you don't want to see anyone get hurt. So I'm going to pray that the dog doesn't attack you. Pray for them, because at the end of the day, that's what will happen. What's it called? Man to call himself trying to destroy this place and call himself the goddamn Holy Spirit. The Most High killed that cat. Right? Another brother, Salakia, John, another brother tried to misuse Solomon's mother to get her to allow Solomon to let him marry their mother-in-law, their stepmother. Solomon killed her because he despitefully, mind you, this man already should have died for treason against the throne. Solomon let him live, and he tried that, and and Solomon dealt with him. Why? Because you cannot despitefully use somebody up in here. It's found out, you will be dealt with. Keep going.
And persecute you.
And persecute you. Pray for those that What does that mean? Your wife don't like the truth, so she talks bad about you. Or your grandma talks bad about you. Or some other evil is done towards you to halt you. Right? Pray for those people. Because they have a sore day coming for them. Keep going.
Verse 45. That ye may be the children of your Father which is in heaven.
So what does that mean? If you don't do that, what are you not? Come.
You're not the children of the Father which is in heaven.
Right. But what's it called? Is there any love of enemies going on in the black community? Like, if we truly believe this is how you know it's a fraud. If we truly believe this, the black and Hispanic community would not have the death rates we do. Every drug dealer wears a Jesus piece and has heard, love your enemies. But none of them follow this. Okay? What's it called? Every cartel owner, man's mother, right, worships the Virgin Maria and has been worshiping the Virgin Maria since the baby was in her womb. Right? Yet and still, nobody understands praying for those that persecute you and despitefully use you. Alpo, Salakia, who shot who? Rich shot Alpo, right? No, Alpo shot Rich. God. From my knowledge, it's 2 drug dealers that are known in Harlem. One drug dealer found out that his friend was cheating him out of money on a drug deal, right? He was being despitefully used. But what happened? This brother wanted to take matters into his own hands and shot him. I'm sure that his mother's a nice, good church woman. But at the end of the day, the church doesn't teach you what you need. The church doesn't explain to you that this is knowledge to save your life. It is knowledgeable to know that your enemy is your brother, not your oppressor. There's a difference. You are never to love your oppressor. Okay? Keep reading.
For he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good.
He makes his sun to rise on the evil and the good. Meaning what? He deals the same with both. Keep going. In terms of dealings with them, like they don't get, the evil don't get special privileges or nothing like that. Meaning they get sunlight and sun just like I get sun. Come on, keep going. Keep going.
And sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust.
Sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust. Keep going.
Verse 46. For if ye love them which love you.
Salaki, Babakasha, Bakwash. Text also Yatazan, tell him I'm teaching. Babakasha. Come, keep going. Read that again. Read that part again.
Verse 46. For if ye love them which love you, what reward have ye?
If you love them that love you, what reward have you? What does that mean?
Well, this is a question, and it's asking you, if you love them which love you, what reward do you have?
So what does that mean? What is he saying? And this will give you a very telling thing about the Bloods and the Crips, about Christians and Muslims, about all these groups. Khan.
I think it's saying, I think Yahweh is pointing out, it's easy to love those who love you. It's not a channel. So it's not a channel.
Right. You can sit there and love other Christians. You can, a blood will sit there and love every blood, sort of. Crip will love every Crip, sort of. Right? MS-13 will love every MS-13, right? But we're trying to be different than them. We're trying to be above them and show them that we are the true leadership for Blacks and Hispanics. So what do? Keep reading.
Do not even the pelicans the same?
Do not even the publicans the same. Publicans is basically an old way to say a sellout.
To say what?
Sellout. Like a raccoon. Come. YouTube. Salakia, you know. Salakia, meaning like publicans are usually people who sided with the Romans or sided with the Greeks. So now we don't mess with you. So the only person who would mess with you is another raccoon. Right? Come.
So the Republicans would be like the Christian pastors and stuff like that?
Come. Like, it's in the same vein as a tax collector. You're someone who works for our oppressor, for his goals. Come. Okay? Don't the publicans do that? Don't you ever only see publicans hanging out with other publicans? Don't you ever see Bloods and Crips only hanging out with other Bloods and Crips? I've never seen the Christian and the Muslim like really chill like that and be cool buddy. Like I remember a brother in the school was saying he was about to get robbed by a Muslim until he turned around and showed the Muslim his beard. He's like, oh wait, you're Muslim? He didn't say anything. The Muslim just assumed. And he's like, yo, you good. I don't rob Muslims. He'll rob his own people, but if that people is a part of his religion, he doesn't rob them. Mind you, I believe that's part of Islam, because they don't believe.
Yeah, I think that's actually a part of the scripture. So I'm saying,
technically speaking, to my knowledge, it's unlawful to harm a monotheistic nation, meaning a nation that only believes in one God. Depending on how you look at America, that can be one or multiple. Because of the Trinity and all that, and then the freedom of religion and all that. But yeah, Khan, that's in their belief system. In our belief system, I cannot just shoot an arrow. I cannot just like do to him whatever I want to. Right? Keep going.
Verse 46. And if ye salute your brethren only, what do ye more than others? Do not even the publicans so?
Do not even the publicans so? And if ye salute your brother only, meaning what? You're only over here talking to your brother, right? Don't the publicans only do that? You should be willing to deal with everybody. Now, people ask this to Captain Tazayak all the time, like, why do you deal with Sarnet and all these cats? There's a scripture why. Like he deals with. Speaking of which, just now, Captain Tazayak just started a. Oh, it's live already. Con, yeah, probably straight up across the line.
Yes, across the line.
Yeah, he's having a debate right now with one of these pastors. Okay, he's having a debate right now with one of these pastors dealing with Con.
I believe it's Pastor Bennett.
Yeah, Pastor Bennett again. Okay, this is why he takes these debates. This is why he deals with these people, right? Why? Because at the end of the day, they are our enemies. They are destroying our people, right? But at the end of the day, how much better do we look if we aren't willing to come out and talk to them? How are we better than the Christians if we aren't willing to come out and have a conversation with the conscious community? Like, I don't care. Like, a lot of Christians will get upset and not even want to deal with the conscious community because they make so much fun of us in the whole skydiving was called. Don't care about that. Have your every one of your leaders gets caught in some ish. Either gets caught in some ish or they come out and you're looking at this cat like, what the hell did you put in front of me? Like Shaka or Jabari. Khan, Azrak?
Because we're actually doing what Christ did. Christ went out and spoke to the sinners, to the Gentiles and everything too.
Right. Okay. Okay, now let's go to the heart of this. Give me Leviticus 19 and 27. And we're going to find out Christ was talking about, well, Tom, 1 second. What Christ was talking about. Christ wasn't just talking about wasn't just talking out his face. He was quoting scripture. Leviticus 19 and I want to say 17. And somebody else get me another scripture. Hold on 1 second.
The 17, sir.
Huh?
The 17.
Oh, okay, come on. Pretty sure I was right. Okay. All right, read what you got.
Leviticus 19 and 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart, right? Oh, maybe it doesn't stop different. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Keep going.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke.
Hate thy brother in thine heart. What does that mean? Come.
Don't hate your brother in your mind. Don't think evil about your brother.
Right? Don't hate your brother in your mind. Don't think evil about your brother, right? Like the brother brought up earlier. Whoever hates his brother without a cause is in danger of the judgment. We're reading the law. Come on, keep going.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor.
Okay. In any wise rebuke thy neighbor. Keep going.
And not suffer sin upon him.
And not suffer sin upon him. Meaning what? if your neighbor is doing something evil, you don't allow him to just sit back and do evil.
Right.
Like that's what a lot of people do not understand about the scriptures. Like they get mad at us for being inside of their business. Like they don't understand the scriptures.
Right.
They take scriptures and think they mean different things. Like yeah, at the end of the day, all souls must seek their own soul salvation. Also, I'm paraphrasing. All souls must seek their own soul salvation. But at the end of the day, you know, it's a product of being. You know, it's I don't want to say product because it doesn't come from it. It's like a requisite or a necessity of being saved, helping out others. Like something I used to say to myself, like all the time, like because it's so funny, because no one ever thinks about this. Imagine going to Jesus and saying, "Yo, I did it. I didn't eat pork." Like, y'all see the problem with that? Like, Yahushua comes back. Yahushua, I did it. I didn't eat pork. I didn't sleep with anybody's wife. Bakwash.
He's going to tell you who did you teach to do those things? Who else have you saved and stopped them from doing those things? The Lord doesn't care what you do for yourself.
Right. Like what? Like honestly, what did you really do for me? Like here's what you gotta understand. God is a father, and what's about the okay? Well, y'all all fathers over here, right? Bruce, you're a father. Got it. So y'all should know the next thing that's about to come out of my mouth because y'all probably have said it, right? God is a father. He gave me instructions to do something, right? And I came back and said, I did it, Dad. What's he about to say? Come on.
So I asked about the rest of the children.
No. You're right. It's somewhat there, but no. Okay. Let's switch it. I do my homework. I get good grades. I keep a clean room. I never get in trouble. I should be allowed this, and this. What does the parent say to the child? Say what?
Good.
So, you're a good kid?
No. John.
That's what I said. So I asked about the next child because my son's good at homework and all that. He did his homework. I want to know if his sister got his homework done.
No. Okay. Like, how do I say it? That's mandatory. Like, I do my homework and get good grades. Sweet. He thinks he can live here with D's? He thinks he can eat dessert every night with F's. He thinks he gets a $30 allowance a week because he keeps a dirty room. You might need to tell our son that these are mandatory, and if he doesn't do them, that's his behind. About to punish. I'm not about to reward you for doing some stuff I've mandated you to do in the first guy. Thank you. You didn't eat pork. You did the thing I already told you to do. You know, you're familiar. I told you to do it because you'll die if you do, right? Like you realize I want you to go like get good grades in school so you can go to a good college and get a good job. I'm not just like I have my diploma. You don't. I'm God. I'm in heaven. You're not. Like, you have to show me more. Go above and beyond. Right? Read where you were. Leviticus 19.
Leviticus 19 and 17. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him.
And that's brotherhood right there. Brotherhood is going up to your brother and telling them he's wrong. That's why when brothers are in the streets teaching our people what they are doing wrong, that is loving thy neighbor. Right. That is loving thy brother. Like, you know, as y'all all said, I'm single, as y'all all said, y'all are fathers with children and wives, right? Okay. All right. Now, y'all are all brothers with children and wives, right?
Come.
But y'all sacrifice. Okay. Well, if your situation's a little different, you ain't gotta right? Now, here's the thing though. Y'all sacrifice your Saturdays. You're sacrificing your Wednesday. This is technically a day off for you, but As you get older in this truth and you grow, what's called your sacrifice days, and you'll start to sacrifice more. You'll start to sacrifice more. Why? Because what's called, you understand that that's the law. You understand that the fulfillment of the law is loving your brother. And what's loving your brother? Read that again.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him.
You're going to rebuke that brother and not suffer sin upon him. You're not going to allow him to sin. You'll not allow your brother to be a crackhead. That's what that law is saying. Keep going.
Verse 18. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
You shall not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people. Okay, this has nothing to do with our enemies, right? Anyone outside of our nation. You can't bear a grudge against your own. No. Bloods and Crips have to come up with a more constructive way to deal with their beef. Same thing with MS-13s and Patia, whatever they call themselves, right? Or Latin Kings and so on and so forth. Y'all have to deal with that on your own. Keep going.
But thou shalt love thy neighbor.
Thou shalt love who?
Thy neighbor.
Thou shalt love who?
Thy neighbor.
Love thy neighbor is talking about your people. Love thy neighbor was never talking about your oppressor. Okay? And we're going to get that next. Love thy neighbor is what?
As thyself.
As what?
As thyself.
As what?
As thyself.
And let this be a lesson to you. Your pastor does not know what he's talking about because your pastor, here's why you don't know this. Your pastor teaches you the Old Testament is done away with. But that's all Jesus quoted out of. Right. Everything Jesus ever said out of his mouth, which was the word of God, was from the Old Testament. Right. So how can that be invalidated? Right. Right? Now give me Ecclesiastes 7 and 7. Okay? And now, what we have to understand today is that, why is it important to understand this? Because when you understand loving your brother as yourself, right? What's called, you understand that you have an enemy. And if you love your brother, what's going to happen when someone pepper sprays your brother?
You'll protect your brother.
You'll protect your brother. You'll stand with your brother. All right? Who got Ecclesiastes?
Ecclesiastes 7 and 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad.
Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. Now, surely is a word that basically means definitely. Like, this is something that is going to happen. This cannot be stopped. This is the natural flow of time, right? Flow of events. Oppression makes a wise man mad. But here's the question. Here's what you have to understand. Why are our people happy? Because
they don't believe they're oppressed.
Huh?
Because they don't think they're oppressed.
That's one way of answering. They don't believe they're oppressed.
Because they hate thy brother.
No.
The question was, why are people happy despite?
Why are our people? The scripture says, "Surely oppression maketh the wise man mad." Well, why are our people happy?
Because they're not wise.
That's it. That's what you want to do. And everything. So, like me personally, I try to always get people ready for scripture breakdown and being able to So a lot of times you'll find answering my questions is usually looking at the scripture we're dealing with and listening to my questions, and a lot of times just rearranging my question into an answer. What is 2 plus 4? 2 plus 4 is 6. Like, what is Jesus' name in Hebrew? Jesus' name in Hebrew is Yahushua. Just rephrase it, take the word I need, but that's what I want. Our people aren't wise. Right. Our people are over here, like, what is the latest dumb thing that our people are doing? I don't even, there's so many goddamn, y'all really up, you had one?
I was going to say all these stupid challenges they do on TikTok and Instagram.
Right. Our people are up here, what's called accepting whores and homosexuals as a part of our goddamn culture. Right. And a part of our goddamn movement. Okay? Our people are not wise. But why? Why? Okay, now why? Why do they accept? Okay, why are they not wise? Come.
They don't have the wisdom from the scriptures. They don't have the truth.
Yes, but give me a little more. Why are they not wise? And it's very simple because I kind of just broke it down. That's why I asked. Give me the next part. Maybe you can understand it.
And a gift destroyeth the heart.
A gift destroys the heart. Right? Why? So now, why don't they want wisdom? Why are people happy in this state? Come.
Because the little trinkets that our oppressor gives them. Like
Yes.
The stimulus checks, welfare,
These are all good ones, but hit the nail on the head.
NBA players.
Yes, these are all good ones, but hit the nail on the head. Come.
They don't want wisdom and knowledge because they don't. If you achieve those, if you acquire those things, then you have a responsibility.
That's a good one there too, yeah. But it's a little more than that. We covered it earlier today, and this come.
You're gonna have to
This is the first scripture we really covered.
You're gonna have to go against the oppressor.
That's another good one. You're real close. Anyone else want to give it a shot? Come.
The gift is that they get to sin. They get to do whatever they want. Act like.
Give him a hand. Like I started this off, like they're denying Christ, right? They want to continue to deny Christ, and that's the gift. They get to what's called Lil Nas X is given the gift to be put on a stage where he can hump Satan. Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, two of the academic, and the Cardi, I'm not going to say too much about the sisters, like what's it called? Academically, I think Cardi B is probably ain't gonna practice Apple. Okay, one of them is probably not the most academically bright, right? Someone you would not put on a podium or pedestal anywhere to be listened to by anybody, are allowed to gyrate and basically teach women what the only thing she knows, laying on her back and shaking her behind. Okay? You are given a gift to be a sinner. And that's a great gift. Like right now, you can go out and smoke and do whatever. You can have a certain amount of weed under like, what is it, an ounce or whatever, and the police cannot mess with you. Right? You have the license to sin. What you gonna say, Bruce?
Oh, we just, in terms of the two entertainers you mentioned, I mean.
Right.
We don't follow that, the politics. Christ is our king, but our people who do found nothing wrong with Cardi B interviewing
Joe Biden, right.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the problem. Here's the problem, though. Our people believe they should love their enemies.
Right.
Joe Biden is our enemy. We did a class on it a few months ago showing how he was the main architect of the 1994 crime bill.
That's right.
Okay? He was the main one doing all the work and literally doing speeches inside of Congress talking about they're going to beat my sister and rape my mother.
Right.
Like, yeah, right. Saying all that BS, right? But now Cardi B is here. He's gonna talk to her, give her some nice words, right? Maybe give us a stimulus check, and that's it. A gift destroys the heart. But read that from the top.
Ecclesiastes 7:7.
Right.
Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart.
And a gift destroyeth the heart. So a gift destroys the heart, meaning what? Your mind is destroyed. Your mind does not think. Now understand, here's the problem. Like the brother Navarro, who got pepper sprayed the other night. Okay? What is your heart? Huh?
Your mind.
Okay, so what is destroyed when it says the gift destroys your mind?
Your mind.
But what exactly is destroyed? Like, okay, I'll give it to you because that's what I'm talking about.
Perception.
I like that. That's a perfect one. The perception of things, right? In Navarro's case, he probably went to college under the GI Bill or whatever the hell, right? He probably is a cat who went to college, got into the medical field in college, or went to college through the military, and that's how he's getting this. Here's the problem, though. A gift destroys the heart, meaning what? He doesn't have a love for his people. It's not in his mindset to think about his people and the things his people have been through. Like, have y'all seen the video?
So you talking about the veteran?
Yeah, Khan.
Yeah, I'm just in the car, right?
Yeah, Khan.
Yeah.
Now, he's acting like, how is this happening to me? I can't believe this is happening. Have any of y'all heard of 1919? The Red Summer of 1919. You've heard of it, right? Because you're a little older.
I think that was so many of them. Was that Tulsa?
No, that was 21.
Right. I'm about to say that.
Yeah, Khan. The Red Summer of 1919 is the summer after World War I. I don't have an exact number, but I want to say in the thousands of black veterans were hung, lynched, killed after coming home and fighting for this country.
Right.
This is why you do not forgive you. This is why a gift destroys the heart. Then, okay, let's go. This brother did not think because he got his medical license. He's able to buy, what was he driving, an Escalade or something like that? Something like that, an SUV or whatever, that nothing bad can happen to him. That office, that damn devil. First off, to my knowledge, once you leave the army, you really don't have your rank like that, right?
I'm not sure.
I believe he's still in there, but he had his uniform.
No. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the cop. Cop was like, okay, I was in the army too. I gave you an order, obey it. Right? Like, to my knowledge, once you leave the army, once you're a retired veteran, I don't have to listen to you, my guy. I'm active. You're retired. And the shoe. All right,
It's like if I meant to, sir. Like that's exactly what you're getting out so happy because you're saying the gift destroy the heart because that doesn't even mean anything. So you don't even know the brothers in the car rank.
Right.
He's confused to the fact that he believes that he's fighting for the country.
Right.
So he should be looked at separately from the black man that he is. And
right.
Gotta wake up for.
Right. That brother got a wake up call, just like a lot of our people get a wake up call, and it's so beautiful to see. Oprah got a wake up call like 15 years ago.
Right.
Going over to Europe. They did not know who that was.
Right.
They said, that nigger is not allowed in our store. Yes. And then the next day, you ignored Oprah, right? What? Yeah.
Who was that 15 years ago?
Oprah. Oprah went over Oprah went over to Europe, right. And they denied her access to a store, not realizing this is Oprah goddamn Winfrey. Right. Yeah. I think actually, yeah, there was another incident like that with Magic and Samuel L. Jackson. Like Magic and Samuel L. Jackson went to some European country, and they've been having a problem with a lot of Hamites coming over there and living like bums and stuff. So they see Magic and Samuel L. Jackson just chilling out of park, doing them. Take a picture and put it online, and then every idiot then it goes viral. It's like, yo, you idiot! You know that's a famous basketball player and a famous actor, right? Oh, okay. This is what it means by a gift destroys the heart. Con.
We lost Facebook.
We lost Facebook? Why? Con. We're still live on YouTube, though, right? Con, don't you care for Facebook, Baba Kashar? Okay, now give me Nehemiah 9 and 12. Okay, and now we're going to get into the second story. Okay, let me try to pull this one up actually, so we can have a accurate story. Tom. Oh, Salakia. You good on everything? Anybody got any questions so far? Okay, we're about to read this out of Yahoo Sports, their article on the matter. Molly Lillard, a standout University of Michigan volleyball player and daughter of New York Jets great Al Toon, was shot and killed by her husband in what police are calling an apparent murder-suicide. Lillard was found with gunshot wounds in front of a house in Scottsdale, Arizona, around 5 p.m. on Sunday, police said. She was taken to the hospital and died of her injuries. Police identified her husband, 36-year-old Royce Lillard, as the shooter and said they were unable to communicate with him upon arrival at the house. The SWAT team entered the home around 10:45 and discovered he had died from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound, per the Republic. The police said, point to a murder-suicide, meaning what? He shot his wife, then he shot himself. Okay, who got Nehemiah?
Chapter
9 and 12. 9 and 12. Got it? Bible Kashar read. Oh, Salakia, Ezra 9 and 12. Salakia.
It's the book of Ezra, chapter 9, verse 12. Now, therefore, give not your daughters unto their sons.
Unto what?
Unto their sons.
Read that from the top. This is a prophet of God giving you instructions. Okay? Giving our people instructions on who we are supposed to marry. Right? Read what you got.
The book of Ezra, chapter 9, verse 12.
Right.
Now, therefore, give not your daughters unto their sons.
Give not your daughters unto their sons. Right? What does that mean? Don't let your daughter marry a white man. Don't let your daughter marry an African. Don't let your daughter marry outside of this family. Okay? That's what that means. Do not let your daughter go outside of this family. Keep going. If you're busy, I'll have somebody else do it.
Neither take their daughters unto your sons.
Neither can your son marry their daughter. Meaning what? Tiger Woods has been having that trouble over the last few years for dealing with those devils. Okay? OJ never got back on top from dealing with those devils. Shalom, brother, you can remember better than all of us. White people loved OJ, right? You no idea. And that's a perfect example of a gift destroyeth the heart. OJ is the perfect example of a gift destroyeth the heart. What you gonna say, brother?
No, just what you just said. In the 70s, when I was in high school, commercials every 5 seconds. O.J. Simpson was this big icon. A lot of the girls in my little art class in high school, they had crushes on him based on the commercials.
Right.
So he was big.
Yeah.
In quotes.
Right. He was big. He was that guy. Right. But the Most High gave him instruction not to take their daughters.
Right.
And we're about to see why we aren't allowed to take their daughters. Because it is a sin. And here's what you have to understand about sin. Sin is not a magic word, right? Sin is not a magic word, right? It's not just some word to be thrown around. There is a punishment when you break the law, right? Keep going.
Nor seek their peace.
Nor seek what?
Their peace.
Don't marry them and don't seek their peace, okay? We are not supposed to go out loving our enemies. We are not supposed to go out trying to be peaceful with these people. We don't care if you like us or not. Okay? That is our spirit. We don't care whether you like us or not. We're going to be here we're going to have this whether you like it or not. Talking about. We do not seek their peace. We do not go out marching to prosper. First off, that's weak. It shows you to be a coward. Right? Keep going.
Or their wealth.
Or what?
or their wealth,
or what?
or their wealth.
Or their wealth. Do not seek their peace or their wealth. What is that? The stimulus check. What is that? What is that? Integration. Starbucks in your community, or Whole Foods. You are not supposed to marry them. You're not supposed to want peace with them. You're not even supposed to want to get money with them. Okay, now understand. That's not saying you can't do business with a heathen company. That's saying you should not wake up saying, my goal is to do business with a heathen company. Your goal should be to raise up this nation. If a heathen can help you, like Captain Nazariak, I'm guessing his connection for his oils, right? I'm guessing that's not a heathen. That's not a jig, right? That's probably Ishmaelite, right? That's not wrong. You give me the oil, I give you your money, we go about our business. But you want me to invest in your company and do this and be a part of your what's it called now? Do not seek their wealth. Oh, if I say Assalamu alaikum, they'll give me more money or they'll give me a better discount. Go, you lucky I'm on camera. I would have said something. Yeah, GFY. Yeah, John, that's what I'm telling you. What's it called? Assalamu alaikum. No. Okay, that's what it means. Don't seek their peace or their wealth. Don't seek to get rich off them. Don't seek to be friends with them. Now drop that. We're going to get more on this subject because this is the issue that's plaguing our people. Give me Deuteronomy 7:3. Okay, the issues that's plaguing our people is that we don't understand that there's laws for us to keep. Okay, that we are not supposed to be mixed in with the other nations. Okay, this is what happens when we take down the people. Read.
Deuteronomy 7:3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Keep going.
Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his sons.
Your daughter thou shalt not give unto his sons. That's the first thing he said. Do not let this sister be with a white man. He will get her killed. Right? Okay, then you got that other Yakana.
I was going to say prime example, Joy Morgan.
Yeah, that's another prime example. What's called I.S.U.P.K letting our sister get with that goddamn Hamite or whatever the hell happened. Because they like to change up the goddamn story. Okay? But yeah, I.S.U.P.K doing that and this sister and all of these other sisters that get with these white men and what's called come to find out he has AIDS and he's purposely giving it to any black woman he can find. Right? That's what you find out. You find out he's bipolar, you try to love him, and he strangles and beats you. Like that sister that was with that Chad Wheeler cat. Right? You should have known something was weird when the guy cut off his hair. Because if you've seen pictures of him, he had long hair, and then the day or two before he beat the hell out of her, he cut it all off. You should have known something might have been, like he might not be on his medication. Like, yeah. Like, and that's the problem. How people don't understand. Like, and they'll say it's not racial or it's not this and that. But even that cat, Chad Wheeler, was on some, yo, bowed down to me. And she's looking at him like, what the hell are you talking about? She didn't do it, and he starts choking her. I highly doubt any of his white girlfriends can say he did that to them, though.
Right.
Why? Because with you, you have to be subservient. How dare you not be? Right? And it's sad. It's sad because the sisters really don't know any better. The sisters are going off what the lies that the pastor has taught them, which is love your enemy. And the thing that's more sad about it is that what are you admitting in loving your enemy and taking the way they do it? Huh?
So what are you admitting?
What are you admitting in loving your enemy?
That you believe that they're better than you.
No. Con.
Are you admitting that you have no love of your own people or your own nation?
No. It's very simple. What are you admitting by loving your enemy? Like, yo, they oppressed our people. God said, love your enemies. What did you just admit to me, though? Come.
That you don't know the Bible.
No. Yes, but what did you just admit? Something that you know, and you just said it. You said that you know it. I said they oppressed our people, and then you said God said love your enemies. What did you just admit to me? And you got to. This is a skill you learn because when you have to, if you ever have to battle, you can read what somebody said. I didn't say any.
That God didn't say that?
No. God did say love your enemies. The Bible does say that. I didn't say anything about an enemy though. I said oppress my people.
Right.
I didn't even put a title on him.
Right.
But you, out your mouth for whatever reason, knew to refer to him as your what?
Enemy.
So you know he's your what?
Enemy. Damn right.
Okay, you're taught to love your enemy, but yet and still you know his history. But I'm going to excuse that and deal with him anyway. And then our sisters get beat and killed. That other sister's lucky, right? She got to survive. This sister's dead now. Okay. Now, I have a little bit feel sorry for that little white baby. I know you ain't gonna remember Ish, but what happened to my parents? Your daddy killed them both. What? You shot your mama, then shot him. And I bet you, how much? I honestly think that it's gonna come out that was racially motivated. They're gonna find out either she was cheating or it was racially motivated in some way. Right? Keep reading what you got.
Nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
Nor thy daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. Keep going.
Verse 4. For they will turn away thy son from following me.
Right.
That they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you.
They shall serve other gods. What is the other gods they're gonna serve? Come.
The God will, like say it was the white man God.
Yes, but
Catholic God, the Christian God.
What is a god? God.
Power.
A power. Who is Navarro's God?
I have to say the white man.
Be a little more specific.
Esau.
Be a little more specific. Why, if that's his power, but he has to argue with his power. So who did he think his power was? Because he didn't think it was the white man, the two white men pointing guns at him. Who did he think his power was, though? Come.
The military?
The white man's military. That's my power. Like, you don't see me in my gear? I'm a lieutenant. Right?
God.
That's what you're gonna brandish. That's basically survival. Survival 101. When you're in a dangerous situation, you're going to more than likely brandish whatever will get you out of that situation. If cats is coming at you looking like they're about to do some violence, you got a gun, you might brandish that. You might pull out your knife. Right? You might show them whatever you think will protect you in this moment. Right? He thought an army uniform and a lieutenant's rank would protect him from the evils of the so-called white man. When it didn't protect our people 100 years ago. Understand what I'm explaining about what I'm explaining. Matter of fact, I wish I would have did it this week. But next week I'll probably do the history of the Red Summer of 1919. Like, you gotta understand, there's pictures of devils getting us off the bus. Like, the bus pulls into the station. The devils know full well that bus is full of black servicemen. We're going to see them from there, so we can either kill them there, beat them, harass them, make them want to leave town, or do some other evil, malicious action. They wanted to abhor them. That word's familiar, right? Sounds familiar, right? From earlier. We don't abhor Edomites. If we did, I'd be by the Whole Foods with a bat every day, and the Starbucks. I'd get a gun and just put on a mask and run through Harlem, firing off shots in the air, trying to lower the property value. But I don't do that. I go out, I teach, I go on the street corners, I teach, and then guess what? I come back here and do more teaching. Why? Because the foolishness of teaching shall I save this people. That's in the scriptures. Keep going.
And destroy thee suddenly.
And destroy thee suddenly. Keep going.
Verse 5. But thus shall ye deal with them.
But thus shall ye deal with them. Okay. Keep going.
Ye shall destroy their altars.
You shall destroy their altars. Meaning what? We have no freedom of religion. Like, how can I love my enemy if my enemy's the Arab, but I'm gonna burn the Kaaba stone in every mosque that I see? Right? Do that make any sense? Keep going.
And break down their image.
Break down their images. Love your enemy. We should have respect with the so-called white man. But still, God said, at the same time as God's saying we should respect the so-called white man and we should love him, we have to go into every white church and destroy every image of the Virgin Mary, Peter, white Jesus, so on and so forth. That don't even make sense. Keep going.
And cut down their grooves.
And cut down their groves, meaning the place they go to worship. Keep going.
And burn their graven images.
And burn their graven images, what?
With fire.
With fire. Right? Burn their graven images. We have to destroy it. Destroy all remnant of these people. Keep going.
Verse 6. For thou art a holy people.
Everybody's a holy people.
For thou art a holy people.
Thou art a holy people. Thou is an old English word for you. You are holy. You are separate. Keep going.
Unto the Lord thy God.
Unto the Most High thy power.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
The Most High thy power chose you to be a special people unto himself. Meaning what? Come.
You're special. You're his people.
You're his people, right? But what's it called? He sees you on a different character, on a different level than everybody else. Now, we're going to show you some examples of, Salaki, how much time we got left? Oh, damn, how many time is
12.
Con, we're going to get, give me Psalms 139. 139? Yeah, Con. Psalms 139. Psalms 139. Now, somebody give me Romans 9 and 13. Because we're going to show you God hates. And we're going to show you it. One person get me Psalms 139. I'll get you the exact. Oh, and 21. Actually, start at 19. Somebody get Psalms 129 and 19. Another person, huh?
129?
139 and 19, right? Baba Kushak, could another person get me Romans 9 and 13? You got Romans 9 and 13. Read Romans 9 and 13, and could somebody else get me Ecclesiastes? No, is it Ecclesiastes 3 and 1? No, you read your Romans 9 and 13. You handle this for now. Con, keep going.
Read it now.
Yeah, read it right. Read it.
Book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 13. As it is written.
Ecclesiastes, con. And keep going. As it is written.
As
Meaning
it is
what?
written.
This is something that is written in the past, but this has been known. Our people have always known this, right? It's not a secret. Keep going.
Jacob have I loved.
God has loved Jacob. God has repeatedly given us chance after chance after chance, even though we did not deserve it. Jacob have I loved, right? Keep going.
But Esau,
keep going.
have I hated.
Have I what?
Hated.
Have I what?
Hated.
God hates Esau, right? Keep going. God hates Esau. God is going to give Esau no mercy. You can find that all throughout the Bible. Keep going.
Verse 14.
Right.
What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with Yahweh?
Now, meaning what? People always ask this question, and this is why the Bible is spiritual. Like, because you got to understand, like, people always, like, that's the first thing people are going to ask when you tell them God don't love everybody, right? So is God unfair? Like, how's God going to create something and not love it? Keep going.
Yahweh forbid.
Yahweh what?
Forbid.
The Most High, God forbid. Read what's there, Baruch Hashem. God forbid.
God forbid.
Hell no. Right? God's not unrighteous for doing that. Keep going.
Verse 15. For he saith to Moses,
Right? This is something he said to Moses. Keep going.
I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy.
I'm going to give mercy to whoever I choose to give mercy to. Read on.
And I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion.
So, right? What is he saying here? What is Paul trying to explain to the people, to the Jews in Rome? God, what's called? The way the Most High operates is like the Bobby Brown song. It's his prerogative, right? You can't tell God who he's going to deal with. He tells you, right? He chose not to deal with Esau. I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. Keep going.
Verse 16. So then it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth,
Meaning, keep going.
but of God that showeth mercy.
Now, what is that talking about? Meaning there is nothing either side did to get their position. Meaning what? If you read earlier from verse 12, Rebecca, I believe it's mentioned in verse 12, Rebecca got that prophecy in the womb of Israel, of Jacob being over Esau. They weren't even born yet, right? And already it was decided their positions inside of this world. Why? Because the Most High decided it that way. There's nothing Esau did or didn't do. There's nothing Jacob did or didn't do that gave them their positions. That's just how the Most High decided. You got the Ecclesiastes?
Ecclesiastes, what is it?
3 and 1.
3 and 1. Common concept.
Read it.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 1. To everything there is a season.
To everything there is a season, right? There is a time, basically, right? There's a time for everything to happen. Keep going.
And a time to every purpose under the heaven.
And a time to every purpose under the heavens. What is that? Time to every purpose under the heavens. Meaning what? Everything that happens on the earth, there's a time for it.
Right.
And it's created that way. Yeah. There is a reason, like, why the hell would you want to be, like, here forever? You should want to die.
Right.
Like, not even just on a what's it called, but especially, death is, like, kind of like mercy for a sinner. Like, can you imagine 3,000 years later being known as the rapist? 3,000 years later?
Right.
And, you know, that was the piece of mercy I was thinking about the other day. You have no remembrance of former things. Can you imagine walking into the school and like, yo, I remember you. Yeah, you raped that girl. You raped that girl back in Jerusalem during the time of David. Hey, nigga, ain't you Judas Iscariot? The hell are you doing up in here? Like, can you imagine going through all that? That's why there's a time for everything. There's a time for you to die so that your son can show that I listened to everything my father did and now it's my turn. Right? And guess what else is beautiful about that? It'll be able to, you'll be able to then go back and be able to see the fruits of your labor firsthand when that's your grandpa or your great grandpa. Or you looking at some pictures and that's your grandfather's grandfather. And he tells you, this is the man who made me the great man I am. And he always said he got it from his father, Bakwash. And that's why I named you after your great grandfather. Right? That's what's it called. Now drop it down to verse 8. And we're going to get the specific times, right? Because people think God is all love, but God is not all love, right? God does not create all love. God also creates this. Keep going.
It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 8.
Right.
A time to love.
A time to love.
And a time to hate.
And a time to hate. So what is that saying?
That there's a time to love things and there's a time to hate.
Right, but give me more.
And it's not always going to be love. Sometimes you're going to have to put your foot down and be strong and show some hate.
Right. Okay, but give me more. Like there's a time to love and a time to hate. Okay.
If I may, sir.
Yeah, come on.
Based off the topic of the class today, there's a time to love your enemy when that enemy is your brother. When it's your brother that's causing a little strife with you, you should love that enemy. But the oppressor, the nation that's not your people, the enemy, you should never love them. That's the time to hate.
Okay, you're almost there. Now give me white people. Use that thing both sides for white people, for our oppressor.
Both sides of white people?
Yeah. Because there's a time you can love white people.
And a time to hate?
And a time you hate them, yeah. There's a time when you can love a white man. Con.
Well, I was going to say, when Christ comes down, it's going to be time to hate them.
No.
No.
Con. So yeah, Con, you good, you good.
That's what I was going to say. When we get the kingdom, it'll be a time to love them, because you can't kill them for slaves. You're going to use them, utilize them.
Right. You make me money. I'm not going to kill you. I love every white man that comes in front of the camps and kisses my boots.
Yeah, right.
I love every white man that drops money inside the bucket.
Right.
You honestly know I'm not really like, oh my God, thank you. But what's it called? You can get some love. In the kingdom of heaven, if I'm allowed to tap Yahweh and say, Salam, please, sir, he did put $2 in the bucket. That's all he had. What's it called? He was some bum, a white dude, but he said, you guys got the truth. You mind if I own him as a slave? We don't gotta. He could open and close the door in my penthouse. Like, we don't have to meet him in a coal mine, sir. Yeah, you could. That's some love. Right. He can get that. Today, all y'all get the hatred though.
Damn right.
Like today, like I walk past that same bum today. Be like, hey yo, you put $2 in the camp bucket, and walk past. But in the kingdom, I'll be nice enough to try to give you a good slavery. A slavery that isn't back-breaking and meant to kill you fast. Right? Yeah, come. That you can do, right? You can have that hatred. But according to Christians, everything I just proved is God. Right? Right? That's God. God, that's God. That's not God. That's not you talking in Romans 9 and 13. That's God. God hates Esau. So that has nothing to do with you. So here's my next question. Can I hate Jacob? Or let me rephrase that. Can I refuse to love Jacob? Because that's how God feels. You realize that, right? Think about that. People will tell you when you bring up Romans 9 and 13, Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated. Well, that's God talking. You're not God. So God can hate Esau. That doesn't mean you can. So does that mean I can hate Jacob though? Or does that mean I don't have to show love to Jacob? Because God's the one showing love to Jacob. I'm out of that equation according to you. No. They'll switch it up to try to mean it's you're supposed to love Jacob, but when he does what Esau is on it, bro. You love Jacob and hate Esau. What's the proof? John.
But the Lord did.
Yes, but what's the proof? I need a precept. I mean, Salaki, I should have said precept and then proof.
Oh.
John.
But Salaki, what I mean, I was gonna say you go to 1 John 5 and 3, but it's not really a commandment. It's not really.
What's 1 John 5 and 3? Pull it.
This is how we know we love the Lord and follow His commandments.
Oh, yeah, come. That's come. That's an explain it. When you wait, Salaki, you're using that to answer how you know
that we should hate Esau.
Okay, yes.
That's not a commandment.
No, because you want something that shows. I'm looking for a scripture that says straight up, I should hate whatever God hates. Y'all never heard of this scripture?
I did. I can't remember it.
Psalms 139. Who got it? Psalms 139 and started. $19. We about to get out of here.
Psalms 139 and 19.
Right.
Surely thou wilt slay the wicked. O God, depart from me. Therefore, ye bloody men.
Surely thou wilt slay the wicked, O power. Depart from me, ye bloody men. Right? Keep going.
Verse 20. For they speak against the wickedly.
They speak against thee wickedly. Thee meaning you. Talking about the Most High. And
thy enemies take thy name in vain.
Okay, their enemies, God's enemies go around taking his name in vain and thinking his name is a joke. Thinking his title is a joke. They don't understand he is the Most High God. The wind bows down to him. The rain bows down to him. The tornado bows down to him. They don't understand that. They take him for a joke. Right? And David's saying here, you're definitely going to kill these people. You're definitely going to get rid of them. Right? Keep going.
Verse 21. Do not hate them.
Do not what?
Do not I hate them?
Do not what?
I hate them?
Do not what?
I hate them?
Do not I hate them? Keep going.
O Lord.
Oh who?
O Lord.
Do not I hate them, oh Lord?
That I hate thee?
Now stop. Meaning what? This is David saying, I hate these people that hate you. Right? Our oppressor hates the Most High. How do you know? He put his children in captivity.
Damn right.
Like, and y'all think there's some, like, you'll be surprised how many white people actually know, like, so like, I don't want to say this the wrong way, but a younger man will cry when you actually realize how much of a secret this really isn't. Like, when we teach when we give out on the streets for free is not, like, hard information to come by. Like, our people, you gotta understand, your life is built around keeping you busy. Keeping you busy stops you from revolting.
Right.
Right? In whatever way, shape, or form. Not just physically, like taking hammers and all that, but I want to mentally make myself better so I can be smarter. Why do you think brothers got to wait to go to jail in order to become a wizard at the law? Because all they have to do in there is lift weights and read books.
Right.
If you are out here, even if you didn't have a job, that woman is making you do something to support that house. Come.
What's that? Is there a scripture in what's that? Ecclesiasticus? I think it's Ecclesiasticus 38 where they talk about how having time will get you. I'm gonna find this. Like,
Yeah, come. Try to find it. Read what you got. Do not I hate them, O Lord, that hate thee. So what does this mean? David hates those that hate God. We stand against God's enemies. Who is God's enemies? The people who would paint a picture of him as some naked white man trying to grab onto another naked white man. People who would paint his son, his favorite son, as a goddamn homosexual white boy, when he made him and fashioned him in the balls and womb in the testicles and womb of a black man and black woman to be a scary, austere black man. Yeah, if you didn't know, brother, Jesus is supposed to look scary. You see that image? That image, the image of Christ. That image you're supposed to think of that image. Think of the woman who wants you to help her cheat on her husband and realize that's going to kill you if you go near that man's wife. That's going to kill you if you eat pork. That's not supposed to be sweet like that homosexual. Captain Zayak says all the time, I can't serve white Jesus. I'll off him up. That's the truth. I'm not trying to fight him. He can put the sword down. I'm still not winning. Slap you. Slap you. Get the rest of that? Slap you. Somebody go in your pocket for get me Con. You found it.
Con.
Con, I'm gonna have you read that while you hold what you got and get Tobit 4 and 12 while you can. Con, read what you got.
And am not I grieved with those that rise up against thee?
And am not I grieved? Meaning what? I feel some type of way. Keep going.
Verse 21.
With those.
I hate them.
No, Salaki. With those.
With those that rise up against thee.
Anyone that speaks to do you evil in some way, I'm grieved at them. That's a problem for me. Right? Keep going.
Verse 22. I hate them with perfect hatred.
I hate them with what?
With perfect hatred.
There's a perfect hatred for God's enemies. And you are supposed to hate the enemy of your people. Right? The enemy of your people is not the enemy that Christ spoke of. The enemy that Christ spoke of is your people. There can be times when our people cannot always get along. But the disciples of Christ, those who truly follow him, are taught in order to love all of our people in all facets of life. Okay? We do not go out there doing evil towards Muslims. We do not go out there doing evil towards the Christians. We do not go out there doing evil towards any of our people. Why? Because at the end of the day, number one, we were them yesterday. Number two, these are the people that we are trying to save. And that's what Christ understood. How the hell am I going to say the church is better than the synagogue, but we act like the cats in the synagogue? How the hell am I going to say I.S.U.P.K is better than the Christian church if I.S.U.P.K acts like the Christian church? That's what Christ was trying to get our people to understand. But our presses, okay, used our love of gifts and our insinuation to deny Christ to teach us a lie, which is that our enemy, that we should love him because he is our enemy. And that's what Christ wanted, right? But we're hearing here that you should hate God's enemies with a perfect hatred. And that's truly fulfilling the love of God. Keep going.
I'll count them my enemies.
I count them mine enemies. Okay, meaning what? You hate. So David is saying here what? You should hate your enemies. Right?
Right.
Okay, now, what was the scripture you had in that you pulled?
Oh, so like I said, it was going with what you were saying
Yeah, come on.
about how they try to keep us busy and just not being able to look for wisdom. You know?
Right, come on.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 38, verse 24. The wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure, and he that hath little business shall become wise.
That's exactly. Give him a hand. You said that's 38 and 24? That's 38 and 24. Anybody who needed that. Khan, that's exactly what it is. Wisdom will be gained in leisure. When you got a lot of time on your hands, you will start to pick up on things. Right? Our people are so dumb today because we have an idiot box to entertain us. Right? Keep going. Let me get this Tobit. And we're going to end off with this.
Tobit 4 and
12. Okay? Now we're going to get an understanding on why what the sister did was evil. Right? And why it's unbrotherly to do this. Why it is unbrotherly to go outside your nation. Keep going.
This is the book of Tobit, chapter 4, verse 12. Beware of all whoredom, my son.
What is whoredom? Fornication. What is fornication? Something evil and unlawful against God. Keep going.
My son, and chiefly take a wife.
Meaning chiefly, like mainly. Take a wife. Read on.
Of the seed of thy fathers.
Of the seed of who?
Of the seed of thy fathers.
Of the seed of thy fathers. So what does that mean? Take a wife of the seed of thy fathers.
So like I mentioned,
that
means to marry a woman that's in your nation, to have to one of your forefathers.
Right. Marry a woman that is within your nation. Read on.
And take not a strange woman to wife.
And take not a strange woman to wife. Meaning what? A stranger. Someone who's not of our people. Right? Keep going. Now, what is, understand, he's saying interracial marriage is a type of fornication. It's the same as having sex. Having sex with a white woman is like having sex with a goat. Keep going.
And take not a strange woman to wife, which is not of thy father's tribe.
Which is not of thy father's tribe. Keep going.
For we are the children of the prophets.
We are the children of the prophets. Keep going.
Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Now, why did he mention these four men? I'll let Isaac rock, Charles. Come on.
Because these are the progenitors of our forefathers.
But why them specifically? Why didn't he mention Terah? Why didn't he mention why didn't he mention Adam? Why didn't he mention all these men?
Because these are the father of Israel, that birthed the nation of Israel.
Well, Noah is like thousands of years removed, about 1,000 or so years removed from Israel. So why is he mentioned?
Because then out of Noah 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
Right, but why would Noah be mentioned? It's a very simple reason. What is this verse talking about? I'm gonna let McQuash try to get it. Come.
These are the prophets, and these are the men that the Most High dealt with.
No. What is this verse talking about?
Not marrying strange women.
So why would he mention these four men?
Because these are forefathers.
And what did they do?
They were prophets of the Lord.
For time's sake, I'll give it to you. They followed the example. Why was the earth flooded?
Because they were making marriages with other women.
Why was Noah saved?
Because he wasn't.
So what did he do?
He was listening to the Lord.
What did Abraham do? Who is Abraham? Who is Sarah to Abraham?
Sarah to Abraham?
Yeah, who is Sarah to Abraham? Huh?
That was his wife.
And also his cousin.
Come on.
Who is Isaac? Who is Rebecca to Isaac?
That was related. There was some
First cousins.
Yeah, that was his
right.
thing.
Who is Rachel and Leah to Jacob? Once again, first cousins. Right? Now read the next part.
Remember, my son, that our fathers from the beginning, even that they all married wives of their own kindred.
Now you see? That's why he mentioned those men. To reiterate, this is our family culture. We don't go outside of our nation. Right? Keep going.
And we're blessed in their children.
And we're blessed in their children. Right? And now we're about to understand why this is important to loving thy enemy. Right? Keep going.
And their seed shall inherit the land.
And their seed shall inherit the land. You know what this sister's seed inherited, even though that's a devil? Trauma.
Right.
Like won't remember any of it. He's 8 months old. But still, like that boy's gonna have to grow up and find out. Somebody's gonna have to tell that child, your daddy shot your mommy and then shot himself. Right? And that's what you've done to that child. When you could have just went and stayed in your house and let him shoot a white woman. He probably wouldn't have shot the white woman. Because I honestly think that was racially motivated. Keep going.
Verse 13. Now, therefore, my son, love thy brethren, and despise not in thy heart thy brethren.
Despise not in your heart your brother. You are to love your brother, right? Because that's the topic of this. Love your enemy, which is actually your brother, right? And don't despise him. Keep going.
The sons and daughters of thy people.
The sons and daughters of your people, right?
And not taking a wife of them.
And not taking a wife of them. Don't despise your people. Don't hate your people by not marrying amongst them. And this lets you know, you hate black. We are not talking out our mouths when we say this. You hate black people if you're not married to a black or Hispanic. Keep going.
For in pride is destruction and much trouble.
For in pride is destruction and much trouble. Why is he saying pride is destruction and much trouble? Who's proud? Come.
I would say because some of them be too proud to deal with their own nation. You think they're better than them?
Come. I'm an NBA player. I'm an NFL player. I need someone on my team.
Right.
I need I'm set up, so I need this. Same thing with women.
Right.
Especially women.
Yeah, right.
What's called, I got a good job, I'm out with him. I need a guy who's on my level, so on and so forth. And going back to men, what's the main thing they say? Oh, they somehow think they're not a nigger, but she is. Like, Salagi for my French. Meaning, like, all the issues you will get with a black and Hispanic woman, they don't want to deal with it. Like the woman won't have to deal with his issue as a black and Hispanic man. He thinks somehow he's escaped all the curses that afflict our people. Like, but he's different. Like, tell that to JR. Then he like getting high and stuff.
Yeah.
Like getting high off weed. You know, gets high off weed and loses their job. Black people. Judge, you don't escape this pain.
Right.
Lamar Odom got high in a goddamn whorehouse. You know who OD'd and almost died in OD, right? You know who OD's a lot? Black people.
Right.
You don't escape these curses. Okay, that's what's called in pride comes destruction. Keep going.
And in lewdness is decay.
And in lewdness is decay. What is lewdness? Sexual immorality. What does that mean? Like I said, it is like having sex with a goat to have sex with a white woman. OJ deteriorated after that case. OJ is gone. Tiger Woods has not truly been at the top of his game since that happened. Did they ever put him back on Wheaties? Yeah, nah, right? Yeah, they never put him back on Wheaties. And like, technically speaking, what did he do that was so evil? Like he had extramarital affairs. That's not illegal. What? Because he's having sex with porn stars, y'all gonna get rid of him. The white man didn't get rid of him, God got rid of him. The white man didn't get rid of Bill Cosby, God got rid of Bill Cosby. God got rid of Bill Cosby and used the white man to do it. Keep going, is that the end of 13?
And great want, for lewdness is the mother of famine.
Lewdness is the mother of famine. Okay? Tiger Woods cannot catch a break. That's why all your basketball players usually go, and NFL players usually go broke right after leaving the league. Giving all that money to some goddamn devil. Right? Thinking these devils won't like sue you and take all that money. Like you have something special. Right? Come.
Just right in line, you mentioned a lot of their icons out there. Michael Jordan has divorced the black woman he's married to, the mother of his children. His children are grown. He's married to an Edomite. And the children are grown, so when he passes away, if he's still with the Edomite, I think she gets whatever money he has.
A portion, whatever the children don't get. Those who don't know, that's backwards. Women don't. In the nation of Israel, women do not inherit. Unless circumstances. Like if you're a widow inherits. Daughters and only child who's a daughter inherits. But if there is a male that can take that money or take whatever, that goes to the male. Come. So with that, was there any other questions? Did you want to deal with the Isaiah question now, or you want to deal with that afterwards? Huh? Yeah, come. All right. With that, I'll pass the class over to Precinct Officer Bakwash. Turn the camera to you. Make sure they can see you about the turn. I was going to say use the turn to the side. Yeah, come. Change it. Muslim Trash.
The I.S.U.P.K. security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K. started out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Room for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limit for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves from the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After the 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21. Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew. Ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of every increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. The Lord's Passover is going to be held in Houston, Texas, at B&H Ranch on April 24th. Get down there, pay your tithes, pay your Passover fees, and come celebrate the Lord's Passover. And with that, men of Israel, we say Amajim. Amajim Shabbat. Amajim Barak. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah. Yashim Tah, class dismissed.
How does floor look to you?
Beautiful class, man.
Count the water. How does floor look to you, Bakwash?
I'm gonna give it a sweep of the facts.
All right,